box scores.
Box scores.
Bourbon.
We check each other's box scores and scores online.
Baseball. Box scores.
So football, baseball, basketball, soccer, hockey.
Box scores and bourbon.
Right. Oh, we're back. We're back. Guys, turn it up. Oh, episode 5, my guys. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, man.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Box Scores and Bourbon. We are starting off on the right
Episode
foot.
5.
Episode 5.
Yeah.
Right
There we
foot
go.
with some good music playing in the background. What else could you ask for on this great day to talk about sports?
A nice stick, a nice
Yeah.
drink.
Nice
which,
drink
by the
right
way,
here. Cheers, JB.
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers to the listeners and viewers of this great baby born show.
If you're watching it on YouTube, welcome. If you're
Yeah.
listening to it on Spotify, welcome to your ear holes.
Yeah.
happy to have you guys.
Thank you for
Happy to
allowing
have
us
you.
into your ear holes today. How are you,
Yes.
JB? Ready to jump into all our
I'm good, man.
arguments? Talk about everything
Let's do it.
sports. Let's jump right in because I think
Let's
we
do
have
it.
a lot
Let's do it.
on our minds today.
Mhm.
We have
We
a
do.
lot to talk about
Yeah.
in the NBA world, which is starting to pick up some traction. Teams are trying
Yeah.
to make a push to be relevant and make us care about them more than we will once the playoffs actually start. But hey,
Yeah.
the NBA is the NBA. They
The
drag on
NBA
their
will
season
always
for.
be the NBA.
They will
Yes,
indeed be
it
the
will
NBA.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. Oh, yeah. This, the first thing I want to talk about is less about the season than it is about, and then it's less about the season and more about, unfortunately, LeBron.
No,
Can't stand the dude. He's
good
just,
old LeBron.
nothing like having a douchebag Hall of Fame with his face on it. He,
At some point, we
this-
need to have
this
the
whole-
argument of this LeBron historical figure thing because I think we could. I don't know. I have certain mixed feelings.
Is he a
about
great
LeBron.
ball player?
Yeah,
Of course
he
he's
is.
a great ball player.
Yeah, he is. He's great.
He'd be greater if he was whatever the eunuch version of keeping your mouth shut, whatever that is. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
So-
one thing that we have to get used to with the new era of what would I call them?
Athletes.
Athletic
Yeah.
social influencers because they tend to start focusing more on their social media instead of their actual athleticism.
Of course, the NBA probably stands for never be an afterthought. So, I mean, LeBron is very much NBA.
Now, what are you
no,
getting
this
at?
whole
I want
thing
to
with-
see what's on your mind.
Yeah, this whole thing with Bronny not being a prospect anymore.
Oh yeah.
And, yeah, I thought it was funny because, and I honestly didn't think it was a surprise. It's like studies coming out saying, "Hey, women are more emotional than men." Oh, really? Oh, thank you, Mr. Scientist. Like we knew. Hey, I thought I remember reading things like last year even that suggested Bronny was even only on the prospects to watch just because of his dad.
Oh yeah.
And they had a couple articles about now he didn't mail in his games, but it was almost as if scouts were there to see other people other than Bronny. And LeBron is the only reason why. It's like LeBron is hyping up his son like the Ball father did.
Yeah.
You know, and
but with a way bigger
LaMelo
platform and way more money.
Yeah, way bigger platform. And then this whole thing with Stephen A coming out and saying, "Oh, me and LeBron are boys. We're boys." But don't get me started on why Bronny's not a prospect. Like he's just yelling and incessantly for no reason, like he usually does. I bet you Stephen A. is a lot like Jack Nicholson in Anger Management, and he just throws the eggs against the wall. I said over easy. This is him at Denny's every day.
He's
Just
he's a
throwing eggs
very
against the
angry
wall.
man. You know what
He's
I'm
just
also
angry all the
noticing?
time.
He's angry all the time, and he's boys with everybody. But he'll say this: "I'm super close friends with this famous person or this athlete," and then he'll proceed
Yeah.
to bash them.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I don't think he's actually as close as he thinks he is.
But Stephen A. coming out and saying, well, it's LeBron's fault that Bronny was hyped up in the first place. LeBron did this.
Mm-hmm.
And I can sit there and say, good on you, Stephen A., for talking garbage about your friend.
Yeah, right.
But I can also sit there and say the conspiracy theorist in me is saying, well, maybe LeBron and Stephen A. didn't already have this coerced. Like they had this whole thing rehearsed where they were going to have Stephen A. talk bad about LeBron, which in fact only increases Bronny's prospect status even more. Because I can't imagine there's a lot of people in the world who like to agree with Stephen A. And if Stephen A. says something that they agree with, then they're automatically just going to take the opposite position just so they can say, well, I didn't agree with Stephen A.
Yeah.
And because I can tell you, one way I can tell that I lived my life wrong is if I get praise from Stephen A. If I lived my life correctly, Stephen A. will never say one praise about anything I said because I agree with nothing about what this man says.
I think you're on the right track so far, because I don't think we're on Stephen A's mind right now. He has a whole. No. He's gotten rich and famous by having a show literally dedicated to who will argue me on whatever BS I want to say, and I will always take the most controversial take, and then you have to be the reasonable person, but argue with me. But yeah, I digress.
Yeah, absolutely.
So absolutely. Yeah, I don't think they're smart enough or even friends enough to be able to conspire to do something as multi-layered as anti-hyping to get the hype behind everything. So I don't give them credit for that at all.
It could be unintentional. You know, there was a thing in the world known as useful idiots, and if this world has blessed us with anything, it is the useful idiots known as LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith, and they could be unintentionally doing this and not even knowing what they're doing.
Might be.
And that's just the conspiracy theorist in me, and that's just looking at human nature of a useful idiot and them saying stuff and then seeing the dominoes fall.
I mean, I do believe that LeBron has unintentionally created this mess for himself since his son was in.
Of course, he has
in middle school, whatever that league is called, with the
something valley. And you think about it too. It's my boy Rick brought this up. He said that this could be a ploy because LeBron says I want to play with both of my sons.
Mm-hmm.
Toward the end of my career, this could be a ploy from NBA insiders to quash his prospect status in order to use it as a lure to get LeBron to play for them. Yeah, to get LeBron to go to their franchise, to be some sort of a weird mercenary. Yeah. So Bronny gets drafted, and then I don't know what his other son's name is. I don't know. Leone, I don't know, whatever the two words for LeBron are.
He's too far. I don't think he. If we want to talk about Bronny and his level of pro level readiness or skill level that translates to the NBA, the next son, he's already way below Bronny, and Bronny's not even close to being up there. So whatever, afterthought as far as I'm concerned.
And it's ridiculous too, because LeBron is, as much as I can't stand the dude when his lips are moving, the dude is one of the greatest to ever play the game.
Yeah.
I mean that's just a fact, and you can't deny it. But to sit there and say, "Oh, Bronny's he's next level. He's better than you." Really? I don't think so. I doubt it. I love Godfather 2, but it ain't better than Godfather 1. So I honestly don't I don't see how the only father-son where the son was just a vastly superior athlete. I mean, they played at the highest level is Christian McCaffrey. His dad was a receiver for the Broncos. Christian comes in and he is otherworldly. That's the only time that I've ever that. That was my window closing.
Oh, nice.
That's the only time I can concede that in my lifetime where a son came up after his dad after they played at the highest level.
Yeah.
And they were and the son was better. That's the only time the sequel lived up to its hype. Christian McCaffrey.
I'm not gonna digress too much. I'm gonna focus on the NBA a little bit. But you don't think Griffith Jr. was better than his father?
Oh, you know what?
There you go.
I'm an idiot. Please forgive me. Hopefully someone out there absolves me. Yeah,
I forgive you. That's all that matters.
And then Bobby Bonds and Barry Bonds. Please, someone out there who's a fan of baseball, like I say I am. I promise you, I am. I love the game. Please absolve me. Absolve me from my sin of forgetting about the Bonds and the Griffeys. Please forgive me. But
your brain is on NBA right now, so that's why NBA and NFL is on the NBA. Forefront of our brain. Yeah. So I'll give you that.
Yeah, those are two things I've been thinking about lately.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
So it makes sense.
That's what I'm rolling with.
Perfect. Makes 100% sense. Moving on. But so what's crazy about this, everything that we're saying with LeBron is that I feel like he's being somewhat of a bipolar. He doesn't understand or he can't decide if he wants to be a good father figure, a good business manager, and or a good influencer / basketball player, because he's the one, like you said, he's the one that's created this hype for his son. I saw this.
Yeah, he did it.
There was a post that's been circulating recently where he came out and said Bronny is better than most of the guys in the NBA right now. He could be a starter in one of the teams. He's better than some of the bums that I'm playing up against in the NBA right now.
Yeah, maybe in San Antonio. Yeah, other whatever that team is. Yeah, maybe. God. I guess. I don't know.
God. Yeah. Poor San Antonio. I feel sad when I see the status of the San Antonio Spurs right now, because they have fallen from grace to the point where I don't know when they're gonna come back, but it has been sad to see happen. It was peak, and it wasn't like a fall off. It was just straight up, just to the bottom, and they can't get out. What have they won now? Like 5 games this year, something.
And then they won 5 games the last 3 years. San Antonio was always the what you lived up to in order to be an NBA franchise, and the moment that the biggest headline goes from the play on the court to, hey, did you hear what Pop said on the microphone in the middle of the game? That's a problem.
Yeah,
that's a problem when you shift to that side, and it's no longer about the play, but about what coach said. Mid-game.
Yeah, it's always if your team is getting more attention because of the off-field drama and the commentating and all this other stuff, you're not in a good place as an organization.
No.
So how do you actually feel about Bronny though?
Honestly, I don't know enough about the kid. I have seen the only game tape I've seen is what they've released, and I mean he looks like a high school ball player.
He's small. He looks small. I don't know. He might be tall.
Yeah,
but
he looks tiny. LeBron was tiny too. He was just really tall, and so but I don't have anything to. I'm not. I don't claim to be an NBA insider. I don't. I never have, and I never will. But
I'll claim it.
I don't know enough. I mean, you answer that question. What do you think about Bronny as a player?
I mean, he didn't look. Since I was watching his highlights, and good old ESPN will do a great job at hyping up the people that they want to hype. But since he was in high school, he just looked like a good, under the basket, want to be a big, dunking it, kind of doing those flashy things. But he's not big enough for that. And then, of course, I'll give him some benefit or some credit to him because he's recovering from this cardiac episode that he had right before the college season started. But I don't know that even since then that I've seen anything that goes to show that he's going to take some major steps in the next 6 months, or technically he has another They're saying he should probably stay another year. I could see why. Right now, I think he's averaging 6 points. 6 points for.
That's really good for a sixth man. Do they play to 20? Is this supposed to be a remarkable stat?
They're playing horse they're playing horse to 21.
What is this? I never bust 21.
So yeah, he's averaging like 6 points per game. He hasn't played the entire season, so a little bit of a caveat to that, but he's not doing anything impressive.
Yeah.
Like I was surprised they put him that high up. They released the and I don't if everybody doesn't know what we're referencing. They recently released the rankings or the mock drafts for where everybody would go, and apparently nobody else deserved attention but Bronny. Yeah. Like they only released the Bronny rankings. They didn't actually release the mock draft of where a future player would be, and they listed him as the like fifth pick in the second round, which I think is high.
Yeah.
Again, the James last name is giving him somewhat of a catapult because if it wasn't for that, undrafted, easily undrafted.
Yeah. Nepotism is the world's greatest resource.
Yeah.
It's maybe he's no good. Maybe he'll be drafted during a Taco Bell commercial, like Jokic was,
and then he'll be another.
Maybe we'll never know.
So you know for how much money LeBron has and for how much money he puts into his body, they claim that he puts a couple $1 million into his body every year. You would think that
I do that with Chick-fil-A every year. You bragging about it.
I put 70% of my income into food too. So what? Though with being so diligent about how much money he's putting into his own body, if he cares so much about his son, you would think that he would have him on some resume where he would be bulking up, getting some muscle, getting some mass, something like besides somewhat of a mid-level vertical where he's like reaching the rim to barely dunk. He doesn't have anything. There's nothing that I have seen that says, "Oh my God, the next James is on the way."
Yeah,
no, it's just
all I know is that he looks tiny.
He does.
That's it. Just looks tiny.
Yeah,
and cool. All right.
Yeah,
awesome.
And he's a follow-up.
Vogues. I don't know.
a follow-up point to how he's doing right now. He's playing for USC with USC being ranked 10th in the Pac-12 right now. So he's 6 points on a crappy player, and LeBron is going to comes out and says that he could be starting in the NBA. So I don't buy it. I'm not too sold on it whatsoever.
Yeah.
He's being bipolar. He's having like the father side. He's like, let me hype up my son because who doesn't want to see their children succeed? I get that part, but then he has to like live or die by that stance. He can't say 5 minutes later, let my son play and let him grow up and quit trying to put him in the NBA too early. Whatever. It's just it's a bunch of baloney.
Yeah, it's all NBA politics, and it's just another opportunity for LeBron to be LeBron, open his mouth, say something that just gets the people going. He's like the Panther tattoo on Will Ferrell's back during what's that ice skating movie he was in? And it was like
Blades of Glory.
Blades of Glory. Yeah. And John Heater's like, what is that? I don't know, but it gets the people going. Like LeBron James is just a walking Panther tattoo.
There you go.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get the people going.
Yeah, exactly. Enough about Bronny. Go ahead.
No, but I was going to say what I am excited about, and we talked about it before. Before we decided before we did the pod, was picking one NBA team.
Yeah.
That we were going to track other than our favorite team. And of course my team's the Pels.
Exactly.
But one team I've always been enamored with throughout my whole life was always the Orlando Magic. And, and being able to kind of dig into them and follow them this season. And it's been a real treat because, they're relevant again. So that's nice.
Yeah, they're they're like sixth in the standings, or where are they?
They're eighth now, but
eighth,
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's a race for second place because Boston's still in the Eastern Conference. Yeah. So it's but Orlando, man, their success has been mostly predicated on defense.
Yeah.
And it's been wild to see that they're still they're 33-26 right now. They're in the 8th seed. So they're so they're up there with if the season ended today, they'd have home field advantage for the play-in. And being able to, which is so stupid. You have home field advantage for just outside the playoffs. But their stats are terrific, man. And Banchero's been nothing but a revelation. He was rookie of the year last year, and he's doing nothing but increasing his stock this year, just balling on the court.
Yeah.
And then you got Markelle Fultz, you got Cole, you got Jalen Suggs, just playing defense on people, just beating on them. And it's almost like watching the 80s and early 90s Pistons, but with finesse. There's less thug life on the court.
Yeah.
And there's more, hey, let's just, let's play the right way, but let's beat these teams with defense. And part of the reason I've loved the Magic for a while is because, one of my favorite NBA players, Jonathan Isaac, he plays for them. And so I've enjoyed following his career.
Yeah.
But Jalen Suggs that dude's a beast, man. And he's only 6'5", so in NBA terms,
he's tiny.
He's a dwarf, but he's like a free safety on the court, man. That dude is like he is. He plays with. I believe he was a quarterback in high school, and so he definitely understands what it's like to kind of push people around and to fight for that. In football, it's fight for the extra yard, but he definitely understands what it means to fight for each possession. And he's a fireball on the court, dude. And then even their rookie for their first round pick, Anthony Black. He's gonna be something special too, but he's never on the court because you already have Fultz, Suggs, and Cole Anthony on the court doing their defensive thing. And so I'm excited to see what they do. I don't know how far they get this season because I think their net average it's 0.8 points. So they're I think 6th or 5th in defense.
That's not good.
But they're near the bottom. No, that's fantastic. But they're bottom of the league when it comes to offense. And so I think their average is like, they're winning games 113 to 112. So, that's not a large enough margin of error to have it be consistent unless as you're playing defense, you're on the defensive side of the court, and then you're stealing the ball, and then you're chucking it down court for a quick layup or a dunk.
Yeah.
I think the best area they can improve on is probably just their 3-point shooting. If they can nail down their 3-point shooting, even all those defensive guys, I think they're average. I think half the guys are averaging less than league average. So if they can get to 35% of 3-point shooting, that's what 5 points, 6 points a game extra. That's golden, But Boston, like I said, they're in the Eastern Conference. Boston's got the best defense in the league, of course, and then I think they're leading the league in offensive average. And so their net average is 8 points, I believe. And so it's like I said, it's a race for second place in the Eastern Conference. It might be a race for second place in the entire NBA, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think there's a more complete team in the NBA than Boston.
Well, the Magic are lucky that they're in the Eastern Conference because I'm looking at the standings right now, and Celtics are running away with it. They're 46-12. They're 8 games above anybody else. It's not even close. I think.
Yeah, everyone's at least 10 games out of first place.
Yeah, it's
in
ridiculous.
The Eastern Conference. But from second down to I believe 8th, it's 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, the second
they are right there.
The second is the Cavaliers. They're 38. So the Magic they're only 5 games behind second place. So if you were gonna be a building team kind of on the up and up, it's a good year to be there because there's no reason really for them to fall out of the playoffs, which is kind of a relief if you're a Magic fan since they haven't been able to do much in the playoffs for I don't even know when.
For a long.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time they were in the playoffs. It was like 2016 or something.
Yeah.
I might be way off with that.
I don't even think that's accurate. I think it's been longer than that. But either way, so yeah, the Magic, they're in a good position if they can keep doing what they're doing. There's no reason for them to fall out of that. And if they can sneak a couple of games, they're only 2 games out of not having to play a play-in, so that's always a good thing. I saw this crazy stat talking about the Celtics where the gap between the Celtics and the second place team in the Eastern Conference is bigger than the gap between the first place team in the Western Conference and the 8th place team in the Western Conference. So the Celtics are just running away with that.
They
with
really
that conference.
are. Mm-hmm.
And we kind of threw our little what do you call it? Our projection early on when we were filming one of our first episodes, saying how we could see that the Celtics were just going to continue to run away with it,
and they are. They
really are. They're killing it.
The best team in NBA by far.
Yeah,
it's not even close.
Yeah,
it's not even close.
Yeah. The only thing you can say about the Celtics is that they've been good for a while. They've always finished first, second, third, or fourth for the last since they drafted Tatum. They've been up there in rankings, but just like in the NFL,
this year just feels different.
Does it?
It for Boston, it just feels different because I remember even in years. I mean, in the last 2-3 years, going back even 3 years ago, where you'd watch them during the regular season, and then you'd even watch them in the playoffs, and then you're like, where's their defense? And then their offense would just be completely non-existent. Mm-hmm. It seems like they are pretty consistent across the board.
They are,
and so to my point, it seems like they're the most consistent they've been in several years. Mm-hmm. And so if they can, and honestly, we won't know anything until we get to April, right. and then when it actually starts to actually matter. But it's where I'm sitting now today. It's hard for me to imagine Boston having any hiccups like they've had in the past.
No.
So I mean, if they continue to play like they've been playing, then awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, out of all those teams on the Eastern Conference, that again, I've said this in the early episode, I don't see any team in the playoffs pushing them to a game 6 or a game 7. I'll have a hard time. Maybe one series will go to game 5, but yeah, they're just killing it. So is a Magic are you latching on your horse to the Magic wagon to see where they end up? Is that you're going to be your Eastern Conference team?
Here it is. Pelicans over the Magic in 7 games in the NBA Finals.
In round.
There you go. Yeah. Nailed it. I
don't know if we'll.
All this talk about Boston, they're going to fall apart.
We're going to.
When they play Orlando.
Editors, clip that. We don't want to live and die by that take.
I'll live and die. I will.
No.
Because I reserve the right to change my mind later when it doesn't happen.
So I texted, like you mentioned how we were talking about this earlier, and I texted you saying like, hey, we need to pick a team that we're gonna latch our attention to because we're all about football. We're parallel with how much we follow football, and then baseball you kind of take the lead on how much baseball you follow. NBA is kind of one of those things where we kind of maybe I follow a little bit more than you do, but we're kind of at that mid level. So we really need to have that, like those couple teams that we're keeping our eyes on to kind of see where they're doing. So I'm a Warriors fan for Steph Curry reasons and Steph Curry reasons alone. So I've been so before you roll your eyes at me, I will throw this out.
I already did. Too late.
I have to throw this caveat out. In the NBA, it's hard for me to latch on to teams per se because the team really is dependent on one player. So it's easier for me to be a fan of a player and follow their career instead of cheer for a team as a whole because they have 15 players on their roster and only 2 of them really matter if you're really being honest about it.
Yeah.
So I'm a Warriors fan because of Steph Curry. I'll throw that out there. Because he's just on another level when it comes to offense and shooting. But if I had to choose a team to follow, I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing from the Oklahoma City Thunder. I really like what they've been building. So they're right.
Yeah.
Right now, there's
Another team becoming relevant again. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Ever since the big trio broke up, they haven't been relevant. But yeah, they're second right now in the Western Conference, and they're only one game behind. So that's
Yeah.
they're like I thought they
Which
came
in
out
the
of
Western
nowhere.
Conference doesn't mean much. Doesn't mean much in the Western Conference.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like I just said, everybody's squished at the
Yeah. I
top.
think every team except the Spurs
Yeah,
are
in the run.
Maybe hell, even the Spurs is probably still involved. They're probably like 6 games behind.
Yeah, they need to win. They will get a nice little 5-game winning streak, and they'll be right into the play-in. But yeah, I was looking at the Thunder stats, and I mean, I like what they're seeing. SGA, he's averaging 31 points a game, which is really good. I honestly didn't realize that he'd been in the league for 5 years now, because he's been kind of a known. I hate to disrespect him because of how much he's killing it, but he's might have been of a no name, probably because of where he's playing. But he's
No, and that's true because and just to caveat on that real quick, I mean, like, we followed the guy for several years now, and all of a sudden he's doing this stuff but quietly though.
Yeah,
and I think it helps because he plays in such a small market.
Yeah,
that no one's really even tracking this, and so the fact that he has these numbers is mind blowing.
Yeah, 30 points a game is he's at second. He's right now he's second in MVP votes, whatever that means, but he's up there in MVP.
It means he might play 65 games. That's what it means.
And the Thunder, the impressive thing about it is that they're really young. Their starters are Holmgren. He's a rookie this year because he ran into LeBron James's quad of steel and shattered his hamstring or whatever the hell.
LeBron ruins everything.
I don't even know how. I keep thinking about that clip. This poor freaking daddy long legs of a player jumped up and shattered his freaking his shin on LeBron's calf or something ridiculous and was out for the year. But anyway, so he's been killing it. He's a rookie and he's killing it.
When you're molded like spaghetti. Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about putting on some pounds. That guy really needed it.
He's like a glass spaghetti noodle. Yeah.
But for whatever it is, he's he's killing it as a rookie right now. He's leading the team in rebounds, which I would hope he is. The one concern that I have about the Thunder right now is the fact that AGS or SGA, sorry.
SGA.
He's second in that team's rebounds. So that's not very good thing. You don't want your guard to be kind of outperforming the rest of your team when it comes to rebounds. So it concerns me that they don't have a big that's kind of dominating the boards, which I think is like the last missing piece for them to really be a dominant team. Who knows what they might get this offseason? This year's OKC team is kind of giving me vibes of the I think it's 2019 Dallas Mavericks, where they kind of were a sneaky team, kind of hung around in the middle for a while, and then they made the Western Conference Finals, but they couldn't get over the hump of the Warriors. That's kind of what I'm getting out of the Thunder. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the Western Conference Finals this year, but I don't see them making it past that. They'll kind of outperform teams that are kind of mediocre because most of the Western Conference is, but they're set up to be a really good team next year with drafting or picking up some big name in this offseason. So that will be an interesting team to follow on my end, since, well, I'm nice and comfortable latching my horse onto a team that's right now second in the standing. So I'm not really picking some I'm not breaking no major news or taking some out of the blue gamble on this team. But hey, a good team is a good team. And you go by I'm going by what I see, and so far I haven't seen anything that's too concerning about them besides the rebounds thing. So hey, I'm going with them. I wish I could find a team on the Eastern Conference that I wanted to follow, but maybe the Pacers. That's about the only other team. There's nothing good. I'm giving the Eastern Conference to the Celtics at this point. I'm not even gonna put too much concern into it, because if the Celtics aren't in the Eastern Conference Finals, or shoot, I even go as far as saying if they're not staying comfortable, ready to play in the NBA Finals, I will say it's one of the biggest disappointments in a basketball career or season, I guess you could say.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's hard for me to disagree with you with the Eastern Conference thing because, like I said, I picked the Magic because I've liked the Magic since I was a kid. I followed them when Shaq was on the team, and so it was easy for me to pick that other team. But I mean, you're right. The mere fact that Boston's in the Eastern Conference, it's hard to sit there and say, "Well, I'm full for this team." Well, okay, well, congratulations. They're not going to go far because Boston plays the Eastern Conference. Yeah, I mean, you can almost say the same thing about doing for the Western Conference. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, well, I mean, Boston still exists. That's still a team.
Yeah.
And so even if you get to the NBA championship, you still got to face them.
Yeah.
If they make it that far.
Yeah. Well, the only thing you could say about the Western Conference is that Denver has taken this mentality of we don't really care about the regular season. We know who we are, and what matters is the playoffs. So they're kind of being mediocre to maybe rest their players and not really risk any injuries. But they're a dominant team. They're just choosing not to be dominant, which I think is set up. I would tread with caution on that because you never know when people a team will catch you off guard and kind of sneak up a Game 7 win over you. But yeah, they're coasting to the playoffs and they're just like, whatever, we'll do what we did last year and cruise to the maybe finals, maybe championship, whatever. But yeah, so I think the good thing about the Western Conference is that all teams are equally mid, I would call them. So it'll be more competitive. There'll be more than likely a lot of a sneaky upsets, if you want to call them upsets, in those playoffs. But yeah, I think it'll match up to be possibly some shocker no-name teams that come out of nowhere that are kind of playing in the Western Conference Finals, which I think is exciting for the sport or for the league as a whole. Because I think back to when LeBron was every year making the finals. I think he made the finals 8 years in a row or something stupid, and the Warriors were always on the other side. That, as cool as that was, the fact that like they were top tier teams going up against each other, and those finals never disappointed. It gets old. Like you want to see new teams. You want to see
I mean, you do, but like you mentioned it at the top of the pod was that the NBA is mostly about the one player you have. And if you have the two best players, and at that time it was LeBron and Steph, and so you got the two best players, I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So I mean that's about it. So, and I think there's a lot more parity now when it comes to the NBA because you see not just these players who have been in for a while, but you see players. I mean, even Jaylen Brown, who's now just dare I say he's kind of blowing up his stock now too, and he's been in for a minute, and then you got not Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, who's just blowing up his stock.
Oh yeah,
and then you got these rookies who are just doing their thing, and it's refreshing because I am a fan of parity, and like just what you said. I mean, it does get it does get pretty mundane when you kind of already know who's going to be in it. It was like Cleveland and San Antonio, and then Cleveland and Golden State, and then that was it. And so it was like, okay, well, awesome. I mean, not Miami and San Antonio, and then Cleveland and Golden State. That's what it was for I don't know 3 decades.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's every year it was just those
since like 2000, 2002. It was just is it San Antonio? Is it Cleveland? Or is it the Warriors? Or is it Miami? Like it did get pretty dry for a while there, but it leads, like I said, it leads to great like storylines and great series because you do want to see the best of the best on the final stage, but you like seeing like the out of nowhere teams.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, finish your point.
No, I was gonna say, did you, speaking of seeing the best of the best at the top, there was these rumors that kind of caught me off guard that the Warriors tried like making a last push to trade for LeBron James and pair him up with Steph Curry. How fun would that have been?
I would have hated it. I would have hated everything about it. We just talked about not wanting to see like the same team in the championship, in the NBA championship, and then you're just gonna have Steph and LeBron there. And
That's the one exception that I could make for LeBron.
No, that wouldn't. Honestly, I don't even see how you can make that. It wouldn't even. I don't even think that would work.
No,
because then you're going to be on a team. No, because then you're going to be on a team, and then I don't know. Maybe LeBron likes being the villain. I don't know. I mean, he opens his mouth enough. I mean, maybe he already knows he is. So even that Super Bowl commercial. Oh, no one says. Everyone says you're over the top. No one says that. No one has said that. No one's talking about how you were over the top. And so honestly, don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah. So yeah. Well. Yeah, I don't know. I think the LeBron being on the Warriors would have been the only exception that I could have made to making a super team. I don't see how it wouldn't have worked, considering it would have almost been the same thing as what KD did when he went to the Warriors. Like that team, if you're talking about like the connection and the dynamics within a team, like that worked really damn well.
Yeah,
LeBron would have filled the role that KD
yeah.
filled up in those days.
Yeah.
So they would have dominated for another 2 years as 40-year-old All-Stars.
I honestly, like, you put those two on a team, and all I see is Steph is considered the good guy, LeBron's the bad guy, and great, we got Batman and Penguin on the same team. Awesome, fantastic. Like, I don't care. I would as much as I don't follow the NBA right now, I would intentionally follow it less.
Really?
If LeBron and Steph were on the same team. I don't want to see that. I don't want I love parity. I love it. Except in baseball, when the Yankees were dominating everybody in the late 90s. This is not me saying, Manny, that I love the Yankees. This is me saying that when I was a child, when I was a kid, and I got to see Bernie Williams and Derek Jeter and Paul O'Neill and who was that third baseman that never got any credit? I can't remember his name. And then Andy Pettitte and Roger Clemens and Mariano Rivera and Joe Girardi. Like I love seeing those guys.
Yeah,
I love seeing them on the big stage every single year. But Steph bothers me because I'm tired.
You tread cautiously with your next words.
I won't. Not at all. Not even close. And because you said that, I'm going to tread even further with my words. Steph has never been someone that I love. Steph in the beginning. Well, not in the beginning, because then I think it was Bob Myers who actually helped him unlock that 3-point game that he has now. Like he's the one that stuck with Steph. He said, "Hey, buy into Steph," but now Steph's just like he keeps saying, "Oh, this might be my last." I just get the feeling he doesn't want to be in the NBA anymore. I get the feeling that he just wants to move on to other endeavors. He's still here. And LeBron being with Steph Curry, that would just drive me nuts. That's gross. I
don't get that feeling from Steph. I think he's still. I don't know what he's chasing because he has 4 rings now. Like he's not gonna catch Michael Jordan when it comes to rings or trophies or any kind of accolades. So I don't know what exactly.
Going to.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody's gonna do that.
I don't know who he's chasing. That's my point. I don't know what he's chasing, but for some reason, from what I hear from him and when I see him playing and how I see him carrying the team and like the things he says after the game or about his season, I get the feeling that he's not even close to being done. I think LeBron is closer to being done, and the only thing that's stopping him from being done is his damn stupid pride and this damn storyline that he wants to build with his son. That is the only thing keeping LeBron in. If it wasn't for that, he probably would have called this season his last season.
Yeah.
He's getting beat up out there, by the way. I see him taking a beating out there, and I don't see no...
LeBron?
Yeah.
He didn't stop him last night. Dude beat the clip single-handedly.
Well.
And honestly, like, reading stuff like that and watching that gets me excited. I like watching the dude ball. I do. I really and truly do. Watching LeBron play basketball is something special. It genuinely is. It's just after the game is done and he opens that stupid mouth of his, I'm like, well, why are you taking anything away from what just happened?
You had to ruin it.
Focus on the game. You ruined everything with your stupid mouth. Just shut up. Shut your mouth when you're talking to me and play the game. I don't understand why he has to run his stupid mouth.
He's building up.
Get it?
He's building a business. You don't understand things at that level. I'm not defending.
He has a business. He's a multi-trillionaire. He owns 6 barbershops or some crap like that. I don't know. He's always going to a barbershop, having some stupid conversation with other barbers. Honestly, there's no barbers there. It's just other dudes just sitting in barber chairs, not getting their hair cut. What's happening there?
You know that's all staged because you look at LeBron's hairline. And that man ain't growing hair. He hasn't grown hair for the last 15 years. So he's just there.
He had hair his entire career. I've never seen that dude with anything other than, a half an inch of Miracle Grow. Like the dude's been a chia pet who just fails growing hair his entire career. So I don't know why he's at the barber shop. He may as well be at the wig shop. I don't know. Go somewhere with hair extensions. I don't know. Maybe. Go to the beauty shop. Call it the beauty shop, and then get your wig braided. I don't know why you at the barber shop. No one believes you're ever getting a haircut. Why are we here?
He's never getting a haircut.
I don't understand what's going on.
Oh, that is so true. That man has never had anything more than a quarter inch of hair.
Kobe had more hair than he did. Kobe had the biggest fro I've seen when he came out of high school. I never seen him on an episode of the barbershop. So.
Oh man, that was good. That was funny. On the same note, though, wrapping that all back around to LeBron and the Celtics. That is one of the reasons why I love Jason Tatum. That man, besides squaring up to LeBron James when he blocked him in the bubble, that guy does not live for the attention whatsoever. He goes out every day and balls, and then you're like, is he on social media? Does this man live in a shack? Like, what is going on in his life? Like, nobody knows what is going on with him, which is the great thing about a great player doesn't seek attention. A great player puts his product out on the field or stage or arena, and that is the attention that they get, and that alone gets them all the attention they need. So I mean, Tatum's doing it right, and that I've loved Tatum since he got drafted. I hate to say that because I used to be a Lakers fan until LeBron had to ruin the Lakers for me and go to there and try being like the second coming of Kobe Bryant or whatever the hell he thought he was going to do when he went to the Lakers. I love the Lakers, so it was hard for me to be a Celtics fan, but I've loved Tatum since he got drafted by the Celtics. That man knows how to ball, and he just plays ball, and that's the end of the story. There's no caveats. There's no but ofs or what ifs.
Yeah. The only thing I know about Jason Tatum is that he buys Pringles with his face on it. Yeah. That's all I know. That's all I know.
He's made some great commercials.
That's it. He buys his flaming hot barbecue with his face on it.
Yeah.
And then he goes about his day.
Yeah.
And then he probably eats 6 bags of them, and he goes and balls on the court. That's it. That's all I know. That's all I know about Jason Tatum.
That's all we need to know. Exactly.
I love it. I didn't pick Boston because Boston's Boston. I mean, why are you going to root for a team that's obviously going to win it? That's just mailing it in. That's a free throw.
Yeah.
But I've genuinely enjoyed watching Jason Tatum grow into this next level player. And the dude's only 26.
Yeah.
He's been playing NBA since he was 13, it seems. I feel like I've been watching him the entirety of your lifetime, Manny.
Whoa.
You turn 17 next week, right? You got your quinceañera next week? Is that? I mean, I feel like I've been watching Jason Tatum for that long, but he hasn't been in the league forever. He hasn't been, and just watching him, he's only 26, and I can only believe he's going to get better.
Oh yeah,
he's only going to get better. He's going to get better and better. He will be the face of the NBA. He will be, and it's gonna. I think it's gonna come to a shock of a lot of people, but I think it's gonna come to a shock of a lot of people who, one, aren't paying attention, and two, who don't really follow the NBA. But for me, the only shock to me was that he's only 26. That's a shock to me. But other than that, it's not a shock to me that he's growing into becoming the face of the NBA, and I feel like that is a great thing, because after years of LeBron and the toxicity that he brings to the league because he runs his mouth.
The drama.
Jason Tatum is the opposite. It's the complete opposite. He says less words than Bill Belichick does. I didn't even think that was possible. Like he just goes press conference, opens up a bag of Pringles, and just eats. That's all he does. Yeah.
So
just the bag with his face on.
The only thing that's overshadowing Tatum is literally waiting for LeBron to retire, maybe Steph to retire. And I think the two names that are going to become on the up and up when it comes to faces of the league officially, once those two guys retire, is going to be Jason Tatum, because he's 26 now, and Devin Booker, and that man is only 27.
Oh.
I feel like I've been watching him
Devin
for
Booker
ages.
The first time I laid eyes on him, oh my, that's a rom-com with that guy. Like the first time I laid eyes on him and I watched him play, I was like, I love you.
Yeah.
I love you. I was divorced at the time. I was like, hey, I'm free. I'm a free agent, Devin. Come find me. I'm as traditional conservative as you can find, but hey, if you call me up, I don't know what would happen. I love you, dude.
Yeah.
And that dude's game is it. I can watch highlights of Devin Booker all day long. Day long.
His literal game and his metaphorical game, because that man has some swag. I'll tell you what, that man has some swag.
Yeah, he does.
I love his. Yes. He hasn't done. I haven't seen anything this year, but last year his thing was like driving in like pretty much a new classic pimped out car every single game that they had in Phoenix. Like every time they were having a home game, he had a new classic car, and he was just cruising. And that man just knows where his money's going, whether it's in the right place or not. But he has swagger, and he has literal game on the court and metaphorical game in everything else he does in his life. So yeah. Once Steph goes and LeBron goes, I think those two guys, the NBA is going to be in good hands with those two guys. And they have another 8 to 10 years of great basketball in them.
Yeah. I mean, there's too many good guys, good dudes in the NBA that are behind LeBron, where once he's gone, and then once Steph is gone too, because who cares?
Whoa!
Once they're gone, the NBA is in great hands because and I'm excited. I really am, because even during the 90s when Jordan was the face, Jordan just balled. Everything he said it while he was on the court. He said it with his play. He said it with a dribble. He said it with a shot. He said it with an elbow to Isaiah Thomas. I mean, he said everything on the court. That was it. And it was wonderful because you got to enjoy this dynasty, and you didn't have to wonder about, well, where does this dude stand politically? Where does this dude stand mentally? I had no idea, because he just played ball. That's all he did. That's all he did. And I loved it. So, and to your point, I'm excited about the future of the NBA. Speaking of which, going to the future, let's shift to the NFL, and let's put our Swami hats on, because Antonio Pierce mentioned something that I believe we mentioned several pods ago about keeping Mahomes in the pocket and just wailing on him while he's in the pocket. And then, which I thought was like, oh, that's interesting. That sounds exactly like what I said and what you said before the Super Bowl. I believe we said that already. No one's listening to us, and it's such a shame.
Or everyone is listening to us, but they're just behind on the 8 ball. That might be a better explanation.
You know what? They're not giving us credit.
How
dare you, AP?
That's right.
How dare you?
I
was in your corner until now. No, it just makes sense. And then you got Mike Greenberg. Oh my goodness. Talk about a dude with a short people complex. I mean, that guy, he's such a moron. Oh, I mean, just they're gonna change the rules. They're gonna have Patrick Mahomes rules. They already have Patrick Mahomes rules. They have them already. Like
every rule.
He's the greatest quarterback in this generation. They already have them. They already fast forward the clock a minute and a half, and then they already give him a first down when he gains 2 yards. They already have that. It already exists. It existed in the biggest game of the year. What are you talking about, you moron? I just and honestly, like to AP's credit, the Raiders are already doing that. Max Crosby already wails on Mahomes as it is.
Yeah.
He's already punching him in the shoulder, pushing him away from him the entire time. Mahomes like, yo, bro, you don't woke me up. Okay, whatever. Okay, fine. With your slang. I don't care. But AP's, I mean, that's not a secret. No. And the fact that people are like, yo, I think AP's got a point. We should probably keep that dude in the pocket. Yeah, no crap, Sherlock. Absolutely, you should. Like, I don't understand what we're talking about here. I mean, you can see Nick Bosa running into him and like, hey, I'm going to catch him. I'm going to go inside the puck instead of stay outside and keep him in. No, you moron. You keep him inside. I don't understand. This is not rocket science. And the fact that everybody, and not everybody, but the fact that people are like, oh, no, this is going to change the rules. One, like I said, the rules have already been changed. They've already been changed. When Tom Brady was quarterback, it was already known he didn't have to move his arm forward in order for it to be an incomplete pass. He could just drop it on the ground, and he tried to throw it. He tried.
Let it go. Let it go, JB.
His intention was to throw it. I'm not. I don't care. I'm not a Patriot fan. I'm not a Raider fan. I don't care. But I'm just saying that to sit there and say that they're going to have quarterback specifications now or special rules, we had it already. We already have it. What are we talking about? What is Mike Greenberg talking about? I've got no idea what he's talking about, man.
Yeah, I saw the comments he made, and like it was literally a one-line quote. He said, "Whenever we play the Chiefs, we're gonna beat the crap out of Patrick Mahomes." Yeah. I'm like, I like your mentality, but at the same time, I know that the mainstream media is gonna eat you alive for those comments. And sure enough, I woke up the next day and they're saying, "Oh, we better keep an eye on the Raiders, make sure they're not doing another bounty gate or whatever not." And I knew that was coming, and it was sometimes mainstream media, obviously they look for a storyline and they need to create hype and controversy to keep themselves alive because that's how, you keep the attention going. But give me a break. That man was talking about like making your team physical, which I don't think anybody has a problem with in the NFL. Nobody's going to say the game is too physical because if not, you're not freaking watching the NFL. And second of all, he's talking about mentality and the way he wants his players to play. Nobody lost their crap whenever Dan Campbell came out and said, we're going to bite your kneecaps on our way up. They didn't say we better watch these freaking Patrick Mahomes kneecaps, make sure the Lions aren't biting his kneecaps. Nobody said that. But for some reason, AP's getting roasted over here thinking they're going to be another bounty gate. You can thank your good old pal Sean Payton for that. He ruined it for the rest of it. For the rest of the coaches.
Hey! That was Greg Williams who did that. Okay, that was not you. You take Sean Payton's beautiful name out of your mouth right now.
No.
You take it and you don't utter it again. All right.
Last I remember,
Sean Payton is a snake.
Last I remember, Sean Payton is the one that had the year-long suspension for it. So I don't know.
Well, that was stupid because Greg Williams was the one that said aim for his kneecap. And let's not fool ourselves here, Manny. Okay, let's not pretend that we didn't play high school football and your coach is like, hey, his right kneecap is jiggly. Cool. All right. Say less. I know exactly what you mean. We've been doing this since high school. Why are we treating NFL players like they're a bunch of pansies made of glass? I have said this numerous times. This is a game where men get up, run full speed into a brick wall, get up and do it again. Whether it's because I have no idea why they decide to do this, but they do, and it's wonderful to watch. But to sit there and to act like we haven't done this since Pee Wee, give me a break. Give me a break with this. This is ridiculous. I don't understand why people make such a big fuss about NFL players aiming for the injured parts of the other players' bodies. That's what you do. That is what you do. Are you sad when it happens because now you don't have the best player on the other side? Of course you are. Was it smart? Absolutely it was smart. You're trying to win the football game. You're going to take any advantage you can. You're running full speed into a brick wall. You're going to tell me you're not going to find the part of the brick wall with the loosest brick? Of course you are. You're trying to knock it down. So if the loosest brick is some guy's elbow with a chip in it, okay, there you go. That's the part of the wall I'm aiming for. Like, this is ridiculous. This is so stupid.
No, I agree with you. I agree with that stat 100% because every player has come out every damn year, and at middle of the year, whatever. They always say, "Ain't no player playing at 100% at any point in the season. We play hurt the entire year." Well, your ankles are hurt, your elbows are hurt, like everything is hurt. So where the hell do you want players to be hitting you? Like at some point, you got to give some sort of target. So I get that. I get that 100% because even if you're not doing it intentionally, you're gonna hit an injured body part, and it's gonna be a weak spot. So
the NFL and the media have it both ways. They try to sit there and say, "Well, don't aim for the broken parts of the body," and then they also say, "Look at that athlete. He was hurt all year, and he still stepped on the gridiron." Well, okay. Well, what do you want me to do about that? He's already hurt. Why are we freaking out about this? This is so stupid.
I mean, I still blame Sean Payton for ruining it for the rest of us, but I understand where you're coming from. But it's all right. It's just AP has a rough like the rough around the edges, like mean dog mentality, and he's not that kind of personality. Is just not meant for the media. He doesn't know how to watch his words, and doesn't know that the words he takes or the words he says are going to be taken out of context. So give the man a break. I'm sure the Raiders will be way better than they were last year, considering the fact that they released the ratings for all the teams this year, and all internally all the players rate every aspect of a team, and all the players rate the coaching staff for the Raiders as an F. So the only way you can go is up. AP, the bar is low, dude. You got this.
Look, all I took from that is that the owner of the Chiefs got an F+. That just tells me the Chiefs suck. The Chiefs suck. They're not going to have a three-peat. The end. That's it. Okay? They're just terrible. They're a terrible team.
That would be a whole. My take was, holy shit, the teams have the worst owner and the worst. I think there was another thing they had the worst of, like training facility. Like they have all that, and they're still winning Super Bowls. Give a little, maybe give Mahomes even more damn credit than what we've given him before, because that man is literally working with nothing. And how do you hate the owner? That's another thing. Now maybe a discussion for another day. What the hell?
I don't know.
Besides Jerry Jones, and we all know how we feel about Jerry Jones, what the hell do the players have to do with freaking the owner?
Hey, according to Brian Flores, every owner in the NFL is racist. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's it. I don't know, maybe he only has white statues in his house. I don't know. Who knows? It's one of those things where it's like, who cares? And like, good luck biting the hand that feeds you.
Yeah.
Like he's the reason you have a paycheck. Yeah. What the hell are you talking about?
I bet you all those ratings were anonymous. I bet you every team would be an A+. There was names behind all the ratings.
He's got an F+. They were all anonymous. So now you know everyone gave you an F. Because, I aced high school with a C average. Something that I realized was that, the higher the grade you get, if you get 1 D, at least it makes it to an F. You got an F+. He's like the greatest F ever. So no one gave him a D, like because he would have gotten just an F.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Oh, someone couldn't give me a D-." You couldn't treat me like Tommy Boy and say that I passed. Like, no, I'm just gonna everyone. Yeah, I know you all said anonymous, but hey, Andy Reid, I noticed that yours is anonymous too. You should give me an F+. Like what?
At the same time, it's almost like the reverse correlation, because the Chiefs were rated the lowest and they won the Super Bowl, so they're doing something right along the wherever the hell something is going right. But at the same time, the Dolphins got A's across the board and they haven't won a playoff game since the late 90s. So something is off there. Maybe you gotta like make your players earn it a little bit for you to be really want it. Like keep them humble.
So much.
Yeah.
You gotta pay them oodles of money.
Because again, that goes to my point. Keep the players humble. Give them rusted weights in the weight room, and maybe they'll win you more Super Bowls. Because the Dolphins have the pristinest, best coaching staff, best body, whatever. Everything is spectacular and immaculate, and they haven't done shit with it. So maybe treat them a little bit worse.
All I say is I don't give my kids $10 before they do their chores. Okay, I give them as they do it. So I don't know, make them earn it. I don't know.
Exactly.
Stop paying them for stuff they did last year. Pay them for what you think they're going to do the coming up. Like, stop giving them so much money, I guess, if you're trying to make them earn it. They already earned it. It's already their money.
You want a new stadium? You want freaking heaters on your benches? Go win me a Super Bowl, and then I'll give you damn heaters in your benches.
Exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But following up to what's coming up in the future, as you're referencing the future, I'm gonna bring us back to what we were talking about at the last episode and what the Bears are doing and how the hell they're gonna mess this up. The recent take that I've seen, I don't know if you saw this, is that the Bears might pull both. They might do both. They might be so indecisive. They might do both. Trade away the number 1 pick and trade away Justin Fields and kind of just stock up on picks for no reason. Did you see that?
I did see that, and I had two things about that. The first thing was when I was thinking about the whole Justin Fields thing, I was like, keep Justin Fields, trade the top pick. And then I saw something that I thought about it. Trade the first pick to the Redskins. Let Lincoln Riley draft Caleb Williams.
Commanders.
Okay, well, yeah. Well, for our sane fans out there, the Washington football team, the team formerly known as the Redskins. I'm gonna give them the Prince treatment because I'm never calling them the C word. So the Bears. I thought about Bears trading the first pick to Washington, and then trading that second pick for even more picks, and then keeping Justin Fields. And then I thought about trade the first pick to Washington, trade that second pick again for someone who wants Drake May, and then go back. Get Jaden Daniels, and draft him, see what happens, and then just load up on draft picks, and then trade Justin Fields for, I don't know, a free refill of your snack machine inside the clubhouse. I mean, you're not going to get anything for Justin Fields. You're not going to get anything. And I was like, well, just keep Justin Fields. You can trade your picks twice, because there's idiot franchises out there that are going to jump at drafting a quarterback for no other reason other than, hey, look what you got. And so just load up on picks, draft Jaden Daniels at 9, because the Falcons are going to be dumb enough to do that. And I really hope they are. I pray every morning that the Falcons are dumb enough to mortgage their future like the Saints did and go up and get a quarterback who's going to flame out. I pray every day for this. Go do that, and then load up on picks, and then surround yourself with draft Jaden Daniels, keep Justin Fields, let him walk, and then Jaden Daniels has a year on the bench, and then you're able to just go about and then keep building this year and the year after and the year after, because everyone's going to give you everything they can in order to move up to the first 2 spots.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for that to happen. I would absolutely love to see that. I'm not a Bears fan by any stretch. I'm a football fan. I love strategery.
Mm-hmm.
I just go out and just get the mother load of draft picks that you can get, because whoever's missing out on Caleb Williams is going to trip over their own feet to go get Drake May, which honestly I think Drake May is going to be better than Caleb Williams.
I think so.
That's neither here nor there.
No, it's not here nor there. It's here. It is here, and it's a big relevant point. I hope the Bears are the only ones that have like this paranoia from what happened last year with the Panthers drafting Bryce Young, because everybody's saying Bryce Young is going to be a bust. He didn't show like key flashes of goodness by any means, and credit the team for being trash overall. But what I hope is that the Bears there's a lot of pressure or whatever not with taking this guy number 1. We know Drake Mayo is really good, or one of the other guys.
Yeah.
solid guy. Probably carry us 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Solid quarterback play. Let's get a king's ransom for him. Trade away Justin Fields, and we're kind of winning on both sides. Like that is, to me, that's not, you can't go wrong with that deal, because you're saying, hey, we know we know what we see. We're not too sure about it. Like we're not even at a place where we can say that the quarterback is what we need, whatever. And just just screw over the dumb owners or the dumb GMs that think Caleb Williams is like this generational talent. Again, I'll harp on that with massive air quotes, generational talent, and freaking take advantage of it. I don't see a problem with that. I would honestly clap. I would honestly find myself cheering for the Bears just a little bit if they did that, because I could tell if they did that, I would be like, you guys are on the right path, and I'm excited to see what the hell you're going to do, because that's a smart move. That's not just like a heart move.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Even if all those picks don't pan out, which would just be such a travesty for the Bears. Like, Ryan Poles, you're gone. I'm sorry. You suck at your job. Like, you had 80 picks in the first 3 rounds for the next 3 years, and you sucked at all of them. Like, fire the man. But even if they failed, I would still applaud them for doing it, because they did something outside of the commonplace idea of when it comes to when you have a top pick.
Yeah.
And they did it last year. The only reason I have hope that Ryan Poles will do it again this year, because they did it last year. He did it last year. And I would say just, hey, roll with it again. Do it again. Go trade all your picks. Trade your pick to Washington. Trade that second pick to the Falcons. Go get Jaden Daniels. Keep Justin Fields for a year. Jaden's on the bench. Let him learn, and then just buy him a Lamar Jackson jersey. Jaden Daniels. Just buy him a jersey. Buy him the greatest hits of Lamar Jackson, and let him watch Lamar Jackson only in the regular season. And then when you get to the playoffs, buy him a tape of
Mahomes,
John Elway.
Mahomes. Why are you going so far? They don't know who Elway is. These guys are 22. They don't even know what the hell Elway is.
They don't know.
They don't know.
Their history books didn't go that far back.
No, exactly.
I mean, and honestly, just let Jaden sit on the bench. Concede that this season is going to go nowhere like the last 2 decades have. Just concede that you're not doing anything, and because you're not going to win a division with the Lions and with the Packers. You're not gonna. That's 2 spots already gone. You're not going to win a division. You're not even going to win a wild card. Just let Justin Fields play. Let Jaden sit. Use the buku picks that you got from this treasure chest of trading from 1 to 2 and 2 to 9, and then all the other picks you're going to get from this year, next year, and year 3, and build the team. Who knows? If you have Justin Fields start, you might have the first pick again. Yeah. And then you can get another quarterback. Like, you can't lose.
Trade it to the shittiest. You can't
lose this way.
Be good at reading teams. Be good at reading a shitty team, which they did good last year with the Panthers. Nobody expected that trade to happen. Maybe they saw something and they realized that maybe they were going to get the first overall pick, or there was a chance they could get it. Do that shit again. I mean, going back
honestly, because look, Lincoln Riley's with Washington. Yeah. He wants Caleb Williams. He wants Caleb Williams. Atlanta's got Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson, who both came from the Chargers. From the Rams. And so they both want their own system quarterback. Heineke and Ritter are not going to be, only one of them is going to be on that team, and neither one of them is going to be the starter next year. They want their own guy. They will pay, Arthur Blank will pay a king's ransom to even jump up to that second pick to get Drake May, because that's what's going to happen. That is what will happen if the Bears trade the first pick to Washington. The Bears will trade the second pick to Atlanta. That's what's going to happen. Arthur Blank will spare no expense. He's going to be, Dr. Hammond in Jurassic Park. I spared no expense. He's going to spare no expense to be able to jump up to number 2. He will pay a king's ransom.
Yeah.
Washington's going to pay a king's ransom for it.
Yeah.
Because the Bears aren't going to be like, give me the first pick and then your second pick. No, give me your first pick this year, your first pick next year, and your second round next year. Trade to Washington. Trade with Atlanta. Atlanta's going to trade you so much more. Keep Justin. Draft Jaden if he's available. Hell, draft J.J. McCarthy. Who cares? Because if Justin Fields is your quarterback next year, hell, you might even end up with the first pick again, like I said. Okay, and then you can go after the guy that you really want. So if I'm Ryan Poles, this is where my focus is at, and I'm telling no one. I'm telling no one this is my focus is at, and we don't have to worry about anyone listening to us because, well, we've been right several times, and no one listens to us anyway. So we can guarantee that Ryan Poles isn't actually listening to us, and he's rest assured no one else is either. So he should still do this, and then just get a king's ransom, and then roll with Justin for the last year. Because you trade Justin, you're going to get, what, a 4th, 5th round pick? A 7th round pick? Hell, I saw projections for the Saints to trade Kamara to the Cowboys for a 7th round pick. I'm like, you're crazy. You're crazy. There's no way the Saints do that. Absolutely not.
We don't want them.
The Cowboys don't want him because the Cowboys don't want to win a playoff game.
We don't want them.
But I know you don't. I know. You want to roll with the status quo. I get it. But, well, I mean, according to Jerry Jones, you don't want to give
me
that.
King Henry.
If no, Jerry Jones ain't going to do that because that's going to mess up everything. So if I'm Ryan Poles, that's what I do. That is exactly what I do. And I've seen no one talk about this. No one has mentioned this. And it makes too much sense. And me being in the military for 19 years, of course, anything that makes too much sense, that's exactly what's not going to happen. So I can see the Bears just mailing this in, drafting Caleb, trading Justin Fields for a box of Jason Tatum Pringles, and then going about his day. That's what I see happening.
Yeah,
that's what's gonna happen.
The only person you need to have on your corner is the ownership of the Bears. Like, go to them and tell them, hey, I know how this is gonna work. I know the heat that we're gonna get this year for trading away this pick, but I can almost assure you that Washington is not gonna have worse than a top 5 pick next year. And if we trade down twice, we're gonna have 2 picks in the top 5. Like, that would be the only person that you have to make sure that is on your side, because you don't want to get fired in between your freaking evil plan. Like, you want to make sure that you can see it all the way through. But that would be the only person you need to have on your corner, and it would just, like you said, it makes too much sense for it to work out. But if they had a bigger plan for the franchise, it would make a lot of sense. The only thing that breaks my heart, and I know you don't follow gambling too much, but I do for some stupid reason, because I don't bet money too much. I just follow it because Vegas.
You've always had the dream to foreclose your home. Yeah. So this makes sense.
Yeah.
Vegas, break up your marriage, lose your house.
Vegas has insider information that I know it ain't coming from nowhere. I'll tell you that. But right now, the odds for Justin Fields, where he's going to be playing next year, is the Falcons. Like, odds-on favorite, which means it's like most likely going to happen. So they're on.
The only way this happens is if Chicago trades down to Washington. Chicago has a trade with Atlanta, and Justin's a part of this.
Yeah, maybe 3
only
first-round picks.
Because maybe Raheem Morris wants to keep his rookie. Maybe he wants to keep Drake May on the bench. Because let's not get it twisted. First pick is Caleb Williams. Second pick is Drake May. The end.
Yeah.
This isn't like Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, all that jazz, Justin Herbert. This isn't anything like that, okay? This is Caleb Williams, Drake May, the end. So if Chicago trades down to Washington, which they should, and if Chicago trades that second pick to Atlanta, which they should, Justin Fields is only included to sweeten the return.
Yeah. Solidify that first rounder for a couple second rounders next year, whatever that takes. It makes sense.
And honestly, I think it's just to get maybe a 3rd round pick for Justin Fields. Hell, they might be able to get a second-round pick for Justin Fields if they include him in the trade. If they trade down to number 2 and they trade to Atlanta, they might be able to get a second-round pick for that, which would be a steal. That would be just a steal to be able to sit there and say, we got a second-round pick for Justin Fields. What a bunch of fools they are. And I would love for Justin Fields to play for the Falcons next year. That'd be great, because then no one's going to win the NFC South with more than 7 wins. So that the Saints are wide open to be mediocre for the 4th year in a row, win the division with 7 wins, and then go beast mode on the Seahawks. There we go. That's what I'm taking from this. That's the silver lining.
You're not giving Justin Fields enough credit. We just talked about how he's not a bust.
I'm not, because I honestly believe Justin Fields is a serviceable quarterback. Is he a starter in the NFL?
Yes.
Maybe not. I don't know.
No, he is.
I don't know. And honestly, like, I have to wait to see it this year. But Justin Fields is not a bust.
No,
he's not. And maybe he's a bust in the sense where he's this first-round pick who's just maybe he's just not this as great a starter as he was, or as they thought he could be. I don't know. But I think Justin Fields can still be a really good quarterback in the NFL. I really think he can. And it's because of how he played down the stretch, like I mentioned in the previous pod. Justin Fields played with so much heart. Even though the Bears had been eliminated from this year's playoff contention 5 years ago, Justin Fields continued to ball. He continued to ball. And that dude showed no sign of relenting, no sign of slowing down. Give that dude a chance. And maybe it's go to another system where you'll keep the offensive system in there for longer than 6 minutes. And honestly, he might thrive in Atlanta, because there's Raheem Morris just poached Zach Robinson. There's no way Zach Robinson's going to get fired after 1 year.
No.
Arthur Blank went into this knowing this, believing this is my last shot. I'm 116 years old. This is the last chance I have at building a Super Bowl contender. His on his dream board is go back to the playoffs before he's 130. So he's going to have Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson on that coaching staff. If you give Justin Fields some consistency, year-to-year consistency, I can almost guarantee that dude's going to grow, and he's going to be something special. You can look at Jared Goff. He was with the Rams, and they're like, he's a bust. With Detroit is the most consistent franchise the last 3 years when it comes to coaching. And Jared Goff blew up. He blew up. And now they're talking about Jared Goff like he's never been on the scene before. Dude was a first-round pick.
Yeah.
Look at him now. Give Justin Fields a chance. Give him a shot. So I'm not anywhere near saying Justin Fields is trash. He's a throwaway. He's garbage. What I am saying is that if the Bears, if they actually do trade with the Falcons and Justin Fields with the Falcons, if they get a second-round pick for Justin Fields, that is also a steal. Two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
Everything I've seen from Justin Fields does not warrant a second-round pick, a third at a minimum. But if you get a second-round pick for Justin Fields, absolutely take it. You take it.
Yeah. And the Falcons aren't in a bad place. Their last coach, Arthur Smith, he didn't know what to do with this player.
They were in a terrible place. They're in Atlanta.
But, I mean, organizationally, they're not in a bad place. Don't you diss the ATL. They have good players there.
I'm from the...
No, we know you're from New Orleans, but don't you diss the ATL like that. As an organization, Atlanta has good teams. They have Bijan Robinson. They were one of the few teams where you could actually say the quarterback was kind of a missing piece. Not to be Super Bowl winners by any means, but they competitive playoffs, get a playoff win. Like, they definitely were a good coach and a good quarterback from getting there. And second, when it comes to Justin Fields, I have this belief that not generational, but certain quarterbacks from certain generations require certain type of coaches to make them bring the best out of them. Justin Fields has had some 50, 60-year-old coaches. No diss to anybody that's in their 50s and 60s out there, but those are old mindset coaches, Justin Fields, the way he plays, needs a new era coach. Something like McDaniels from the Dolphins, like he needs a coach that is innovative, that is explosive, that is creative with the offense. I could guarantee you Justin Fields would kill it and be a solidified starter with the right system in place. And he needs a young coach. And in Atlanta, they just hired a young coach, and the offensive coordinators also a really young, innovative coach. Like everything in place for that organization. They have key components on the coaching side. I could see them getting the best out of Justin Fields, and if they can't, not because they're not because they're Hall of Fame coaches, because they haven't proven themselves at the head coaching level, but if they can't get the best out of Justin Fields because they have that new era mindset, then it is Justin Fields, and it is that Justin Fields actually a bust, and nobody's going to get the best out of him.
Yeah, if he ends up going to Atlanta and you get through year 2 with the same offensive system and he's still producing the same, well then you move on from him. He is a bust. What I'm saying is that I'm not saying that he won't be a bust. I'm just saying that if you go through the first 4 years of your career and you have 3 or 4 offensive systems, what do you expect's going to happen? Like the guy was young. He didn't come from a college that's known for quarterbacks. It came from Ohio State.
Yeah.
And there's always questions from Alabama and Ohio State quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't give the guy some consistency, you don't give him some time to actually learn the system and grow in it, then what do you expect's going to happen? But if you get through year 2, if he goes well and you get through year 2 of the Morris Robinson regime and he's still playing the same or he's still just a little bit better, then he's a bust. You move on. You at least keep him to be a backup because he knows the system. But as of right now, I think it's too early to call him a bust because he hasn't had an opportunity yet.
That's right.
Some people could have called Drew Brees a bust because he got hurt.
Yeah.
So, you could have called Drew Brees went to New Orleans and just lit up the world. The dude's he's a first ballot Hall of Famer because of it.
Mm-hmm.
So so sitting there and saying that, oh well, he hasn't gotten it yet. Well, yeah, you haven't given him what he needed. You haven't. If you're going to sit there and say he has a responsibility to be the first string quarterback, you have to show him that you're willing to stick with him and not just say, hey, you're the starter this year. You have to show him you're willing to stick with him and then stick with the same system.
Yeah. I would even dare say that Justin Fields, in my most recent memory, he's the most successful quarterback coming out of Ohio State, which is saying a lot considering Ohio State's not. They don't produce.
That's not QBU.
No,
at all.
By any means, exactly.
Not at all.
Exactly, and he's more relevant than any other quarterback that's come out of Ohio State. Ohio State has been wide receiver university and running back university for the last 8-10 years, and for Justin Fields to be still relevant in the league, I mean, he, as far as I'm concerned, he is the most successful Ohio State quarterback that has come out of that school. That's
and honestly, look, you can't tell me that Tua Tagovailoa isn't a bust.
Yeah,
because the only reason he's relevant is because they went and got Tyreek Hill. That's it. You get Tyreek Hill, you get Mostert in that backfield. I mean, of course, any quarterback's going to look good.
Yeah, so every quarterback would look good in that system.
So, I mean, Tyreek Hill made Mahomes look good. So,
no, don't even start.
I had to throw that in there before the end.
Yeah, I was going to say, way to close things out on trying to piss me off at the end. Mahomes has won a Super Bowl since then, and Tyreek Hill is yet waiting to sniff what a playoff victory looks like. So, just don't get me started.
Yeah. No, don't worry, I will.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. You set out. I set out to tick you off and have you fuming, and you set out to tick me off and have me spiraling. So it's a great combo.
Hey, we've been friends for what, almost 3 years now. I have ticked you off from the moment I met you. So this is why ruin things now? Isn't that what they call feng shui, relational feng shui? Yeah. Why would I ruin what works?
Exactly. Why change something that's working so well for the last 3 years?
Why?
On that note, we're gonna get out of here. I think we've pissed each other off enough. You want to tell me what you're drinking, JP?
Yes. I'm finishing this bottle of Larceny right here.
Nice. I saw that bottle.
It is it is 92 proof. It's really good. It is inexpensive. It is, I believe it's $25, maybe $30 most places, but it's inexpensive. It's delicious. It's a very easy sip.
Mm-hmm.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking First Call Kentucky Straight Bourbon. 90 proof.
Love it.
90 proof. It was really smooth. I was looking for something that I could kind of buy a big bottle of. This was also very cheap. I don't know if they had it on sale. Shout out to Total Wines if you did have it on sale, because it was $24 and it's smooth. It didn't make me feel like I was about to spit out fire after I took the first sip or the 20th sip. I finished my glass in this episode, which is always a good sign. So yeah, it was good.
Smooth. I had to refill.
There you go.
So yeah.
I put a splash of cherry bitters in mine, thinking that maybe it was gonna be a little too rough, but it was good. I think I'll enjoy that bottle without even having to put anything additional. Yeah. No Manhattans coming out of that bottle, just straight up on the rocks or neat.
It better not. It better not. Yeah.
I know making a cocktail out of every whiskey pisses you off.
unless it's Jack Daniels. I don't do it with anything other than Jack Daniels or Crown Royal.
Oh,
so, yeah. What in high school? Yeah. Ooh, purple bag. Awesome. Like what? That's the appeal. Purple. All right.
I got a little money bag in the back end. Free baggie. Free purse.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening / watching again. We appreciate everybody that's taking the time to listen to us and making us somewhat relevant. If you see us, let the ownership of the Bears and the Raiders and everybody else know that we have good takes that they need to start listening to us about. So we know our shit.
Yes.
Check us out on YouTube.
Yep. Catch us on YouTube. Follow us there. If you catch us on Spotify, follow us there. Leave a review, and then catch us on our TikToks too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then until next time.
We'll see you soon. Peace out.